Good morning and good news to start off with. Our engineering team has fixed the problem with the ventilation system, so we should see temperatures normalize by about noon today. Now, our water levels have been depleted about 10%, but we think that will normalize in about a week or two. I heard from the minister.
We interrupt this scheduled broadcast for a breaking news update from the Sticky Buttons podcast.
So let's get this started, man. So tell me what you've been doing. Here, you've been doing something recently. You gonna tell me about it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, this is our sports-themed episode, so we're going to kick it off with some sports, some extreme sports at that. I've been doing some bouldering.
Oh, yeah?
And recently got a gym membership at a climbing gym, the Cliffs in LIC.
Nice.
And
is that in Queens?
Yes, it's in Queens, New York, the most diverse county in the world.
Nice.
And it's a great gym. They have everything I need. They have weight training stuff. They have boxing stuff. They have bouldering. Cool. They also have, climbing with a belay. So some really, really tall walls, like 30, 40 feet.
That's
and,
cool. No, we had gone climbing once, and I don't know if I ever mentioned to you, but I hadn't been bouldering before.
Right.
But I had been like belay climbing.
Top roping.
Yeah, is that what's called? Top roping?
Yeah, I was blanking out a moment ago, but I got it now.
Yeah, definitely. So for our listeners out there, I would consider myself the most novice of climbers. And I would say Brandon's definitely above average in the intermediate area.
Yeah, I'm in the early intermediate. I've started only about a year ago. And it's kind of like a bug that I've caught. I never thought I would be a climber, but here I am.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. You're really good at it too.
Thank you. You too, Blake. You're pretty good climber over here.
Well, thank you. I don't do it very often, but I enjoy doing it with other people. That's one of the reasons, I love sports. Definitely It's an activity that you can use to bring people together. So.
Always. It never fails to bring people together and make people laugh and just have a good time.
Yeah. And that couldn't be a better introduction into our sports video game episode. Number 2 on the list. So,
Number 2.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited, man. I think the first one went pretty well. And I think this next one I'm super excited about. So you recently did you get the new 2K?
Yes. So I got my hands on the new 2K21 on the release date. And, I got to try out a bunch of different game modes. I tried online game. I got to try the new My Team, the new My Career. And it's a really good game, very similar to prior releases. I'm excited to try the game on the PlayStation 5, which is the next gen.
So do you have to buy it for the PlayStation 5 again after you've already bought it, or is it because it's backwards compatible you don't have to do that?
So if you bought the Mamba edition, which was a $99.99 dollar, it's basically a special edition of the game, you don't have to do that. But if you just bought the regular PlayStation 4 edition, you do have to buy it again for PlayStation 5.
Gotcha. Did they call it Mamba out of respect for Kobe?
Right. Yes.
That's really cool. That's actually really cool.
And there's a lot of small Easter eggs in there for Kobe, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. That was a big thing, and bringing it back to sports and how it brings people together. There really is a lot of positivity in terms of like that situation. In the 2K environment.
Yeah, that's really awesome, man. So if you didn't know, 2K is a basketball game, which I feel like you probably did if you're listening to this. But would you mind giving people like a quick rundown of like what all the game modes mean and kind of like what you can do with the game modes? And
yeah. So online game mode, that's just you versus someone else. You guys pick any team, any of the 32 NBA teams, or you get your choice at some historic teams. And yeah, you guys pit the whole squad up against each other 4 quarters, and then we have my team, where you can collect different players and build up your own team. It's kind of it reminds me a lot of like playing cards. You know, you
Hmm.
collect like sports playing cards, except you get to actually put a team together and play with that team, which is a really cool concept. And I've always really enjoyed that mode the most out of all of them. Um, and then we have my career, which is basically you make a player that works their way to the NBA, and then they kind of have a whole career, and you kind of ride along that career every step of the way. And
Yeah, that's a really popular part of it. Like that's isn't that one of the most like the most
right,
popular like game modes, I guess.
that is one of the most sought after game mode. Um, that 2K supports.
So
And
you
actually, I want to mention 2K Sports Entertainment is actually part of 2K Interactive, which is a developer that makes great games. They're actually responsible for BioShock, which is
oh wow, I didn't know that.
game. And yeah,
Yeah, that's
2K.
cool. So with the My Career, can you create your own character, right?
Right.
And like essentially like you're like a quote unquote like rookie and then you like play like a whole season. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, so when I started out, I started out as a high school prospect, and then I had people watching me, and then I got recruited. I went to Syracuse because I'm a New York City kid. Went to Syracuse, and yeah, we played D1, got some attention there, worked my way up, became a first round draft pick, and now
Nice.
I play for the New York Knicks.
That's
Uh,
awesome, dude.
and yeah.
So do you get to like how far can you customize your character? So like can you pick your name? Like do you get to pick
Yeah.
the size of your character too, or is it kind of like a random draw on
So the
that?
customization is I think it's probably the main thing that draws people to this mode. Um, so first of all, you can scan your face on a 2K companion app
Oh, that's cool.
and have your face on your player.
Did you do that?
I never do that because for some reason the companion app can never capture my face just right. So I save time and just get straight into the game.
Well, you've
And
got a super goofy face, so I mean, I get that.
yeah, and I have an even goofier face in the game. I just
Oh, oh man.
and yeah. So I get right into the game. But yeah, that's a big customization feature. You get to customize your sneakers, which, you know,
That's cool.
every basketball player, sneaker has sneaker game, and sneakers is a big part of the sport.
So have you got to
You
customize any on your player yet?
Yeah, I got to put some sneakers on them. I have been saving my money, um, just so I can upgrade my guy. I
So
really want to.
how does the upgrades work?
So they have a virtual currency,
Mhm.
short for VC, and you acquire it, through playing games. If you go to the park and play with other players, you can acquire VC. You can acquire VC just by playing the game, and yeah, you can also buy VC, which is what a lot of people choose to do.
Gotcha. So I guess like how tailored is it to like real life? Like, do you have to like do because I've heard that you have to do like you have to like do sponsorships and stuff like that. Like I hear you
Yeah,
like you can like pick brands to sponsor you, right? Kind of is that like kind of part of it
yeah,
too?
no, yeah. There are sponsorships. There's team practices that you can choose to attend. There are post-conference meetings
You get to
where
like
they
actually like interact with that.
interview, and you can skip them. I've been playing my career since 2K14,
Oh wow.
so at this point, I'm just like, the story. If I really want to get this story, I can go on YouTube and watch all the cutscenes. But I always just focus on like the performance aspect of the game. But yeah, you can definitely.
So do you get like really like emotionally invested in the in that or like in your character?
You do. It's easy to get invested into it because your character is just this culmination of things that you've selected, all this customization, and then you get to go to this arena, the park, in the neighborhood. And I should mention there's a neighborhood where you can literally just walk out and go to a bunch of stores, and it's like a neighborhood, and you can ride your skateboard through the neighborhood and stuff.
You can ride a skateboard?
Yeah, you
That's
can,
cool.
but you have to earn it. You have to
Okay.
play enough games and rank up. You have to beat other people, and get you know acquire experience, level up. There are rankings like rookie one, then you have pro, then you have etc. And so as you rank up, you get access to more things. And the park is where people take all of this work that they did, in their my career, and they go to the park and pit up their character against other people's characters, and people come together with their friends, and it's a fun time. It's always a really fun time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So how far deep does like this career go? Can you like have your player like theoretically like 10, 15 seasons
Yeah,
and have like your player retire? Or
you
do they kind
totally
of just
can.
keep going?
If your player does not get injured, you can run into some pretty scary injuries
Oh, really?
where you might have to start your career over again. It's happened to me plenty of times. Last year, actually, I had a shooting guard who I was into my fourth season, and he completely injured his knee, and he just kept
Damn,
running into issues with his knee, and I had to retire him. I couldn't play with him anymore,
dang,
and and
that
uh, and
sucks.
and that goes back to your question about like realistic. They do definitely try. I mean, I think that's realistic. So there are some
Yeah, that
players who
definitely is. I didn't really
come
know that was a
into the
thing.
league and never get to play. They only get one season, or they only get two games. And yeah,
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, it's not. I mean, like it's not cool that like your players get like retired, but like I mean, like it's not cool that that happens. But that's a cool aspect that like they add into the game
right.
that makes it pretty realistic. So I really have never really like I've never bought a 2K game. I've never really played it, but like I totally get why people play it. Like I'm just unfortunately I'm not really all that into basketball.
Right.
Uh, I never really have been. In high school, I was a wrestler, and there's a little bit of a clash between us and the old basketball players at my old high school. But yeah, no, I totally get it. And like it's always kind of fun to like watch from a distance. And yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's
So you had said that like you could play as other historical teams in this.
Yeah, you can play as, the 94, 95 Bulls with,
That's cool,
Michael
dude.
Jordan and
Okay.
Dennis Rodman. You can any like real like staple team in history, they have them in there, and you can, play with them.
Yeah, that's really cool. So okay, let me ask you one more question, just because I feel like I as somebody that's never really like gotten all that into this. Um, is it normally based? I thought in my mind, I thought it was like based on the actual season that like had progressed that year. Is that how it goes, or is it like the year prior?
So there is an official roster that gets, loaded into 2K, and they do base that official roster off of the prior roster for that season. So yeah, you
So
you
this
are
is based
correct on
on
that.
2019's season, or I guess it would be 2020.
2020, 2020's roster, whoever was, actively
Did the
playing.
Raptors ring, or did the Raptors win last year? Is that who it was?
I think so. I believe it was the Raptors who won the final.
Gotcha. It's Drake
Yeah,
City, man.
Drake City, Toronto. Lots of people from Toronto. It's a great city.
Are you
Shouts out to
familiar?
Toronto.
Yeah, shouts out to Toronto. I've actually always wanted to go there.
You've never been.
I've never been, man. I got a passport too. We can take a road trip right now.
That'd be a good idea. I actually took a road test today.
Oh
I,
yeah, you're learning how to drive.
dude, I
How's that
failed
going?
failed my road test miserably. I
Oh,
was
dude, I'm so
parking,
sorry.
and I hit the curb, and that's an automatic fail. So yeah,
That's ridiculous. So you were parallel parking and you hit the curb?
I was so nervous. I
No, I mean that's so
I
easy to
know how to
do. I'm
drive
surprised
guns,
they
I
fail you for
promise.
that. Oh man, would you like to tell me, like, would you like me to tell you about my road test? So
Yeah, so
you're taking your road test and you hit the curb.
yep,
Oh
automatic fail.
man, that sucks that that's an automatic fail.
It
So
really was.
what all did you have to do? Was that like the first thing that you had to do?
So I had to get out into a lane, make a right, and then make a left, and then I had
You had to
to
like merge
pull.
with traffic?
Yeah, and when I made the left, after I made the left, he asked me to, pull over and do my parallel park, and yep, that's what happened.
That sucks that they have you do that. In where I took mine in old Michigan, we showed up to like a parking lot at like 6 in the morning, and I had to like drive up and like park within 10 centimeters of a cone, and then I had to reverse and back up within 10 centimeters of a cone to the back, and I failed both of those. I was too far away. And I was like, that's stupid because your objective is like not hit something.
Yeah,
But like it was on like a point system, so like we just kept going, and I had to I was so nervous, dude, and like my dad was in the back seat, and so like in Michigan you have to be in drivers like a driver with your parents, quote unquote, for like 6 months, and it's because there's so much like winter that they want to make sure that you have time to like practice driving in the snow.
right.
And I did mine in the spring, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I don't think I ever had to merge into traffic, and I think I had to do a parallel park, but it was like there was no curb. There's just like I had to do it in in between cones.
Okay,
So
that's
like
so easy.
yeah, oh man, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's some extra mega bullshit. I feel like if I was in a parallel park today, I feel like I'd hit the curb.
Yeah,
That's
and
such an easy thing to do. That sucks that that's an automatic fail. Because like it doesn't
you know
really
what's
hurt
crazy
anything.
is my friend whose car I was using said she had taken the test with the same person, and they failed them on their first try as well. It seems like this person is just a very, very harsh grader,
Wow,
uh, notoriously harsh.
that
So
stinks.
I switched the location. I'm scheduled for another one in a positive light. I have
Yeah,
another one coming up soon, and I'm gonna pass that one for
yeah,
sure.
definitely. Well, I wish nothing but the best and positive energy towards you, man, on that. But
Thank you.
dude, if you failed, no, it's no big deal.
Yeah, no,
I
it's really
promise you, it
not.
really doesn't matter. Like I'm
I
sure that
can,
you can drive
yeah,
fine.
I can always get another one, another road test. But yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome that you're learning. That's really cool. I guess like living out here in New York, you probably don't really need it very much.
yeah, I don't really need it, but I think now I'm gonna start. You know, I might just rent a car and go upstate, and climb outdoors, take my dog with me, and hike with him and
Yeah,
really
that
show
sounds
him
awesome.
some of that upstate,
Love
maybe
it.
Long Island as well.
As somebody that's backpacked 50 miles on the Appalachian Trail and certified Eagle Scout here, I would love to go with you if you ever want to go camping, man.
Yeah, dog,
I
that
could
sounds like a plan.
teach you some
I need to
things.
get out more.
Yeah, dude, I get that.
I need
I
to, yeah, man.
being in the city sometimes it kind of feels like the city is like its own world. I don't know. The way I look at it is it kind of feels like its own state. So, so New York, man.
It's its own state, New York City.
Yeah, dude, it really is. It's because I think it's like there's like a barrier to entry because like, it's just so hard to like because there when you're in it like you don't really use a car. Like if you're just a person, like you can like take an Uber or a Lyft, but like most of the time, like you're just gonna take public transport or walk.
Right. Or
But then
bike
like
everywhere if you're me.
yeah, I wish I had a bike. I need to get one. I really need
Dude,
to get one.
I'm
Did
so
I?
fit. I'm so fit because of it.
Yeah. Did I tell you why I don't have a bike out here?
No, I,
Oh
I
man,
don't think you did.
it's a story. So I love to bike. I love road biking. Um, my girlfriend is like, "You're gonna die." She's like, "If you bring your road bike out here, you're gonna die."
I'm fucking weak.
She's like, "There's so many deaths in New York City for like so many biker deaths, and you're just like." Sometimes I think she thinks I'm a little bit too Midwestern. Or she's like, "Such a little country boy coming to the big city."
Oh, that's
It,
adorable.
it's endearing that she thinks of me like that.
Yeah.
Although, admittedly, when I did move out here, there was like probably a couple weeks, like maybe a couple months where I was a little bit overwhelmed with everything.
Yeah, of course.
Um, I actually had this really funny moment. I went into this place that sold like weed paraphernalia, and the dude like this. I was just kind of looking around. This dude is because it's like decriminalized out here, like in my home state, like weed is
Yeah.
legal, but it's so I was just kind of browsing around, and this dude came up to me and he was like, "Hey, like, do you need any help with anything?" And I was like, "Oh no, man, like I just moved out here." Like in my head, I was thinking, I was like, "Yeah, I don't know anybody that has weed, so I'm fine."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, dude, like, oh, I totally get it. Like, just moving out here, like, take your time, man. Take it all in. Like, it's not illegal out here." And I was like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate it."
That's hilarious.
I felt a little bit awkward, but because
Happens.
he was just like, "Oh, like, hey, man, like, do you need anything?" Just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hands off.
he's like, hands off. Took a step back.
Yeah, I
I
love it.
had to leave in embarrassment. I was like, I've smoked before. Just wanted to, like, in my head, I was like, gosh, like, the dude probably thinks I'm.
That's too funny.
Anyways, back to video games. Back to sports video games.
Sports.
Do you have any other sports video games that you're like really into besides 2K?
I love Madden. Madden is a really fun one.
Nice.
Yeah, they also have a career mode in Madden. Madden is made by EA, Electronic Arts, and EA versus 2K. A very, people are always comparing the two developers,
Because EA
because
also
they
has
both
like
make a basketball
EA's.
game.
Oh,
Two,
I wasn't aware that EA made a basketball game.
yeah, they have NBA Live.
Okay. Do
They have
people play
NBA
that?
Live, and people do play live. I think it's more one of those games where like they pay people to play them and like make content for it, and it somehow sells just enough copies every year for it to be remade. And I think it's just because EA is one of those companies that has so much money to just make games, even if they're not profitable. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I've played both. I like 2K better. 2K does a better job. But yeah, Madden is a really fun game by EA. They have the My Team. Actually, they call it Madden Ultimate Team. A lot of people call it MUT as well. Um,
Wait, what do they call it?
Madden Ultimate Team.
So what? Wait, what is that again?
It's like the My Team in NBA 2K, where you basically collect cards of players and you assemble your collection and you make a team. And yeah, that's really it. I should also mention that EA is really known for FIFA, which is another
Yeah.
game
Yeah,
that I
I was gonna bring that one up. That's
yeah,
about the only one that I actually ever really had any like fun playing.
really fun game, exciting as fuck. I've actually never been to a soccer game in real life. I think I need to do that because it
Dude, we
looks like
should go, man.
an exciting sport.
It's I think it is an exciting sport. I actually like out of all the sports, I think it's kind of weird. Like I love watching the Olympics. I'll watch a soccer match anytime I can, and I love watching golf too.
Yeah. No, I could imagine just seeing people sprint like full speed trying to control this ball. It reminds me of like ancient Mayans almost, like, or like ancient
Yeah,
civilizations.
Yeah, because it's kind of one of those. It's a sport where it's like the normal. I think like the average game, the winner is up by 1 goal.
Right.
So and like I mean, there's only 1 goal is or like two like maybe 2 goals are scored, but like
It
I think the
never gets
average
crazy.
right like except for like in like a shootout or
Rarely.
something.
Yeah, rarely ever.
So it's like you never know like what moment could be in like you never know like which run when they like make it down the field. Like you never know like is this cross or are they going to be able to head this in or like are they if they drop this back like are they going to be able to like shoot it up? You know.
You got to be in it.
Yeah, and it's like because it's a lot of like and you have to like put everything into like every play.
Right.
Or like every like time you like move the ball up because you're like you never know like this could be the one, this could be the opportunity, and you know and because of that I feel like a lot of players get like a lot of shit because like if they like have like a wide open goal and they end up missing it, like they get harassed, you know, and I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like that's like one of the. I'm kind of like taking a hiatus from watching sports. I just think I think like it can be very toxic. A lot of like toxic masculinity and you know,
For sure.
and I think a lot of that surrounds the gaming community as well. But
Definitely. That's great. That's great that you bring that up, especially in the sports episode, man. I think that's a great thing, great topic to bring up. Um, yeah, one of the reasons I kind of like got attracted to the climbing was because it's like a sport where it's just you competing against yourself.
yeah,
Because a lot of time the competition aspect really, causes that toxic masculinity to bubble. And yeah,
yeah,
that's like
definitely.
some good to point out.
And if nobody's ever heard this before, your worth is not equivalent to how good you are at sports or how athletic you are.
Definitely.
And I know that like guys in our society, we're all pushed really hard, you know, for sports. And I wish that somebody would have told me like, hey, like I know that you think that this matters so much because I mean I've got a lot of injuries from all the sports that I've played, and I wish somebody would have said, hey man, you're gonna have to live with this body the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And, like if you like this sport for like your high school town, like yeah, I know it matters, but like it does not matter enough for you to put yourself in jeopardy.
Right.
You know, so I think we kind of mentioned it last week um, with like how mental health is important, and if you're
Definitely.
somebody that's like struggling in a situation like this, um, like where you've got like in just like toxic relationships because of sports, like definitely you should reach out to somebody, and we'll put some links in the show notes as well for that.
Yeah, definitely. Um, on the topic of just sports and stuff, did you hear recently about do you know who Odell Beckham Jr. is?
I do. I heard he likes to get pooped on.
What was that? I was just
Oh,
aghast when I saw that trending on Twitter. I couldn't believe it. Like, where did that
did you
come
hear
from?
the whole story?
No, it's shed some
Oh,
light on that.
yeah. So I guess I guess there's this podcast, and I don't know the name of it.
Oh, no jumper.
Yes, that's the name
Amazing.
of it, and it's like run by 2 girls, and I think like a couple of weeks ago they like outed somebody for doing something. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember it now, but there was somebody here. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up. So I guess it was Chief Keef's baby mama.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, that is funny.
This is something else, man. It's like just when you think it it can't get sillier, like you think you watch South Park for 20 something seasons and you're like, okay, like it can't get sillier, but life just has a way of
Yeah, dude, this is one of
surprising
those
you.
things where it's like it's almost like you almost can't make that one up.
Just can't. You just can't.
Oh, that is crazy. I mean, like, obviously, like, I think, like, they touch on it a little bit in the video that I watched. It's like they have, like, such an incentive to lie, but, like, even if it's not true, it's still funny.
Yeah. It is. It's so random. And what's even funnier is Odell hasn't spoken on on this topic at all. He hasn't denied it.
Well, he might not deny it, man. Maybe if it's out there, this is the best thing for him.
Yeah.
Kink is exposed. He can be free, man. He can stop hiding.
Free. He can stop. And yeah.
Who did do you know who he played for?
So he played for the New York Giants, which I loved. He was a wide receiver for us for some time. Not sure. I think he might have went to the Dolphins. Let me search this up.
Yeah, I don't remember who he plays for now. Do you remember who he played for when he was in college?
OSU, I'm pretty sure.
Do you ever think they're gonna make a video game about college football?
Sorry, he played LSU, and they do have a video game of college football.
But that's not fantasy football? Or is fantasy? Is fantasy football for the man? To all those people out there that are
Let's
shaking
talk
their
about
heads.
fantasy.
I'm not the biggest football guy. I used to be a fan of the St. Louis Rams. My family's all from St. Louis, and as you know, the St. Louis Rams
Or now the LA Rams.
The LA Rams. So I feel kind of betrayed by the old NFL, and I just haven't been able to get back into a sense.
I understand. That's
I
understandable.
might maybe I'll become a Giants fan. I don't know. Probably not.
Jets. Let's go.
The
I'm a Jets, Mets, Nets.
I like Jets, Nets, Mets.
Yep. The Nets. I definitely want to see the Nets play because they have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. That's like two really, really good players on one team.
I've always liked KD's shoes, man.
KD is a different type of player. Honestly, there's no one like him.
Dude, I'd be down to go see them play if you ever want to go.
Dude, I'd love to go. I'd love to. I have a friend who gets tickets like to every other game. I don't know how, but he's a huge Nets fan.
Awesome, man.
We'll see. We'll try, and when things get back to normal, do you think things will ever get back to normal from this Corona stuff?
Yeah, I don't know about some of these big gatherings. Obviously, like at some point, even if there's no vaccine, from what I've heard, it takes 2 or 3 years for crowd immunity. So that would be something to where if we kind of just opened everything back up, no masks, everybody kind of said fuck it, which it kind of feels like that a little bit right now.
Yeah, that's already happening in some parts of Queens. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But if that happened, everybody that was gonna get sick would get sick in the next 2 to 3 years, and then you'd either get immune or it would mutate into something worse. And I actually a funny story about it. Actually, I can't preface it with that. A story about COVID that happened to me living out here in New York. So in about November, I went to a doctor's appointment, like a yearly checkup kind of thing. And I asked the doctor, I was like, hey, doc. If you ever see a doctor, I always call him doc. You should start calling him doc. I don't know why. It's probably a little bit disrespectful, but it's kind of funny. just to act super bro-y to them and just call him doc. So I was like, hey, doc. So should I be worried about this whole COVID thing? I think I said whole coronavirus thing. And he looked at me dead in the eyes and said, no. But you should worry about the fucking flu. So you should get a fucking flu shot. And I've never had a doc say that to me.
That was badass.
And I was like, I was like, do I need one? And he was like, you live in New York City. You need a flu shot. And I was like, I've never had a flu shot before. What if I'm allergic? And he's like, if you're allergic, you'll pass out. And you're not allergic. Because he's like 0.0 something people are allergic. So he's like, also, it literally doesn't cost you anything. Can you do it for me? And I was like, yeah, doc, I'll get a flu shot. And he's like, great.
That's awesome.
I got a flu shot. So I didn't get the flu.
No flu for you.
No flu.
No flu game.
Do you get flu shots every year?
Not every year, but occasionally I will go to my local pharmacy and get a flu shot.
Is that something that because I don't know, growing up in Michigan, I feel like I never really did that. Do you do that a lot? Or did you do that when you were growing up?
Out here, like, yeah, it is commonplace, but like a lot of people are hesitant. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about vaccines. Um, and and yeah,
Yeah, that is
it's
super unfortunate. Like I'm not really in support of those anti-vaxxers. I think you should listen to science and get vaccinated. Um, there's a lot of video games out there about what happens when people don't get vaccinated. You ever heard of pandemic?
oh yeah, pandemic. What else? What are some outbreak?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of games about. We could do a whole
Day
episode about pandemic
Daisy.
type games. What'd you say?
Yeah, Daisy. Have you ever played that game?
I haven't even heard of that.
That's like a zombie kind of survival game.
Is it kind of like a Left 4 Dead kind of thing?
Not really. It's a little more open than that, and it's an
Okay.
online game.
Oh yeah,
It's like
that's
you and like
cool.
kind of like a Fortnite, I would say.
Okay. Is it kind of like cartoony like Fortnite?
Definitely not though. It's like a little
Oh
more serious than Fortnite.
man, you might have to check that out.
Yeah, Daisy is a good game. Shout out to Daisy if you've never played it. Definitely, I would
So is it
suggest.
is it like on your browser?
It's a big PC game. I would Steam.
Steam? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure it's Xbox supports it as well. PlayStation supports it.
I'm gonna look
So
it up right now while we're Daisy video game. We're
yeah,
really talking a lot about sports games, so
yeah. We got to the pandemic stuff, and
no, it just happens. I typed in Daisy video game, and a Wikipedia article about Princess Daisy came up.
oh, how did you spell it? It's day, like the day, and then Z.
Oh yeah, didn't spell it like that. I spelled it Daisy like Princess Daisy.
That's my fault. I should have made that
Oh no,
clear.
you're good. You're good. Oh,
Days.
this looks cool. This looks interesting.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see
cool.
shopping and see what platforms it's on. It's on PS4. It's on Xbox One,
The Xbone.
the Xbone. Yeah, it looks like it's like $30 right now. So if you want to pick it up, it might be a cheap title to snag. It's 29 on the PlayStation Store. So Brandon's endorsing it, man. Go out and get it.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a great one. Also, 2K. I mean,
Yeah, definitely can't stress that enough. Let's do 2K.
can't sleep on the Mamba edition. Uh,
So I
mainly
gotta
something.
ask. This is like back to 2K. One thing that I feel like if I was ever gonna do this, I feel like I'd get really into the shoes.
Yeah.
So how many seasons have you even finished a season? How long does it take for you to finish a season?
So it typically takes me, a while to finish a season because I practice. I practice between every game. But sometimes if I'm not practicing, I can finish a season in, less than a month. It doesn't take much time because the
Gotcha.
games are simulated. Typically in an NBA game, it'll be 10-minute quarters, but in my career, you're actually only playing about 5 minutes a quarter.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So what brand did you get for your
So
for your
I
shoes?
chose to go with Jordan because, I love Jordans. I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah.
yeah, just gotta rock out the Jordans, man.
I feel like I think isn't Adidas one of the options? Isn't it like
Yeah,
Nike, Adidas,
Adidas
Jordan,
is
and
one of
Puma?
them. Yeah,
Is
Adidas
that
is
all
one
of
of
them?
them.
I feel like
Uh,
I'd probably choose Adidas. I don't know. I feel like you can't sleep on Nike though. I feel like that's the one.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like I'd have
true.
to go
Nike is the biggest one, honestly. Nike is the biggest one.
So it got brought up briefly. I'm gonna pivot us right into it so we don't get distracted again. Uh, Fantasy football. Do you have something
Yes.
you wanted to say about that?
Yeah, man, fantasy football. I used to play a lot with my friends, played for money, and it was really fun. Actually, should I talk about that? I was gambling. I don't know. Yeah, I was gambling on fantasy football.
Yeah,
It was
I think
fun.
that's okay.
It was really fun. We would go to Buffalo Wild Wings and just watch games and just, compete, put up our teams against each other, and yeah, definitely, definitely love fantasy sports. Never got into fantasy basketball, although that is also a very popular one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's also, this is more your speed. I think they have fantasy, quote unquote, like it's like fantasy. It's not fantasy football, but like it's like that, but for The Bachelor, like The Bachelorette. So
Really?
if you're in that, I actually, full disclosure, one semester in college, I got really into I think it was The Bachelorette, only for one season. I had a really good friend, and he was like, "Yo, dude, The Bachelorette, she's so hot. We gotta watch it." And I was like, "All right, man, sign me up." And it was the one that. So it was, if you're a fan of The Bachelorette, it was JoJo's season, and she ended up with. This is sports related, surprisingly enough. She ended up with Aaron Rodgers' brother. He
What?
ended up winning. Yeah,
That's random.
yeah, and I guess he works for ESPN now. I can't remember his name though. I think it was Jordan.
May?
Uh,
Maybe it's Jordan.
I think yeah, Jordan Rogers. That's what the guy's name
It
is.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, yep, Aaron Rodgers' brother, Jordan Rogers. He was born August 30th, 1988. That's what came up on Wikipedia. But yeah, so I filled out the fantasy on that one. I had that friend was also really trying to get me into fantasy football, and he had some long combos in his truck about it. He would just like go over the stats, and so he was an accounting major, and I did finance and economics. So like it would make sense that I would really like the fantasy because of all the stats and stuff, but I don't know. I feel like I deal with numbers so much on my own. I feel like I never really, or
Yeah.
like just I have to do numbers so much. Then I was like, I don't think I'd want to do this for fun.
Yeah, like why would I want to bring work?
Yeah, that was kind of the vibe that I was looking at it with. But I kind of wish I would have given it a shot because when we lived, like that was the one. I think that was the year that I lived in my fraternity house, and we had like NFL Red Zone, I think, or so. Like if I was ever gonna get into it, that would have been then. But I was also like I said, I was so burnt out, or I was just like, I guess hurt about my team leaving my city, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's just a wound that's never gonna go away from me.
It's never gonna heal.
The NFL, at least. But
Hopefully, they get some funding back and they get to fund a team for St. Louis again.
yeah, hopefully. I mean, they have such a good baseball team and hockey team, which we haven't even talked about. NHL.
Yeah, we have not talked about the NHL.
Have you ever played that one?
I
That one's
have.
done by Madden too.
I have. I actually, I have EA Access. Shout outs to EA Access. It's a service which basically allows you to play play through EA's collection of games. And yeah, that's how I got FIFA, Madden, and all of these EA games. And yeah, I got to play.
How much is EA Access?
I think it's like $5.99 a month, something along those lines.
Can you get all of them?
It's not too bad. And yeah, you get most EA
Most.
games. And yeah, I tried NHL just for shits and giggles, and it's a fun game, I have some friends that love getting on it, and they get super competitive.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that's one of those games that you really gotta like. I feel like if I'm gonna play NHL, I feel like I want to be playing next to somebody.
Right,
Like,
like
we're
right
good.
next to in person.
Yeah, because I feel like you can start fights in and like
Yeah,
doing a fight with somebody you're sitting next to, like, oh, that's nothing beats that, man.
that's funny.
That's so
yeah.
funny to like watch.
That is, it's hilarious.
I'm into
You can
that.
you can still get that experience playing like online with your friend.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true. If you guys are like on like a chat or something.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to an NHL game?
In real life?
Yeah.
No. The Islanders. I've only watched the Islanders play. I've never been in a game.
I've actually, growing up in the Great White North of Michigan, I've gone to a couple. I went to a Red Wings game. The Red Wings I think they were playing the Blackhawks, maybe. I don't know. That might just be in my head. Because so for like context, the Red Wings and oh my gosh, Chicago team. I just said it. I just like totally.
Are the Blackhawks
Yeah,
picked
the
Pittsburgh?
Blackhawks. Yeah, the Blackhawks are in Chicago, and the Red
Oh,
Wings are in Detroit.
okay.
And um, I think it might have just been those because like I'm thinking about them because they were the closest NHL teams to me. But like
Right,
I
right.
went there and I saw like a fight, and it was really intense. Because like the fights don't happen every game, but that was really cool that it happened when I was there.
While you were there.
Yeah, I was definitely.
How close were you?
I was in the nosebleeds, man. It
Oh,
was I'm surprised that I did it with a couple buddies. We on like a Wednesday night in high school, we like went and then oh man, this was and then we if you've never been to Detroit, if you drive into Detroit, pretty much the only places you can park are like parking garages that are attached to casinos. So, like there are a couple parking garages that like aren't attached to casinos, um, but like for the most part, you're probably parking in one of those. And
everywhere you go.
well, they have at least the like we were going like downtown. So like if you need to like park in downtown, like yeah, you could like pay to park on the street, but they also have like parking garages, and most of those parking garages are owned by casinos because there's a lot of casinos down there.
Yeah.
And we forgot where we parked our car, so we were walking around downtown Detroit from like the time the game ended to like maybe 1 a.m. trying to figure out which parking garage our
Wow.
car was at. And we like kind of came to the conclusion after passing like 2 or 3 that had been locked, like because they like lock them at a certain time at night because they're like they don't want people driving from the casinos like if they're drunk. And we were
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna be stuck out here. Like we didn't even like check to see if the like parking garage closed
Yeah.
at a certain time. We're like we're so fucked. And they're like we're gonna be here until they open it, and then we like all at school tomorrow. And like I had like a presentation the next day, and I full disclosure, we ended up like finding our cars at like maybe 1:30, and then we like have like a 3-hour ride back, so we got like a couple hours of sleep. And
Wow.
I slept under the table at school right before our presentation. And then teammate woke me up, and we did our little presentation, and that was that.
That's amazing. That's an amazing story. It sucks that you guys went through that, but that's
It was nice. I mean, like it's a cool story to like look back on, but in the moment, I
it
don't
was
know. Like, in
scary.
the moment, I was kind of like, whatever. Like, I'm like this is kind of cool. Like, it's a Wednesday night. I was like, that's kind of cool that happened. It was like a cool experience,
Yeah.
even though it kind of sucked.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a couple other games I want to touch over briefly.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up here. That's Rocket League, baby.
Oh, Rocket League. That was a sleeper, man. I was not expecting that. It's a great game. Have some really great memories on Rocket League.
Dude, Rocket League is so fun. I also have some really cool. I actually have a lot of good memories on this. So I got this my sophomore year of college. So I had it for 3 years, and me and my buddy, like, shout out to Joe. We were playing, and like he was my roommate for like 3 years. We'd always just hop on. Sometimes like I'd get back from class and he'd just be on, just grinding. So thanks for all the cool hats and camos that I got.
That's funny. You just really love Rocket League, and it's one of those games where you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna play one match,
and you just get like sucked in.
and you're playing 3, 4, 5.
It's so if you didn't know, Rocket League, you drive a car around, and basically you play soccer, but like you can like pick up boost and you can like make your car fly, and it's just 2v2 unless you like do a different game mode. And it's pretty fun because you're just playing soccer, but it's 4 cars instead of people.
Yeah,
they also have some basketball modes as well.
I like to do
you ever played those
3,
ones?
3, 4v4s. Like the more cars, the better. I got crazier.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played more than 2v2. I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, they got really creative with that.
There are a lot of explosions with that.
Yeah.
So I think like if you never played, if you hit another car while your car's on boost, definitely you can feel it. Like you get thrown completely off course. But if your car gets hit twice by other cars that like are hitting you with boost, both cars blow up. Or
Yeah.
no, like your car blows up. But then if like both of you have had like one hit each, and then you guys collide, then it's both the cars blow up. So it's really, I mean, like it can kind of like it's kind of like serves like the same like aspect as like a penalty in hockey, because like one player is like completely taken out for like however long it takes you to respawn. It's only like 10 seconds maybe, but like that's still a long amount of like in game time.
No, yeah, you can score a goal easily.
Yeah. So yeah, I've definitely had some moments where getting blown up resulted in a loss. But it's just so fun to hit people.
I love hitting people. I love saves, when they think they're about to score and you just come out of nowhere.
Fly out of nowhere. Oh, the saves. I think that's by far the most rewarding part of the game.
I think so too. Just
because you can definitely, if you have enough boost, you can send your car like straight vertical.
Yeah.
I'm like, so like I feel like you just send it sometimes, and like every now and then like you'll hit the ball when you do that, and oh, it's just so fun.
Yeah. It's fun. It reminds me of soccer. It really does, in all the good ways.
Yeah, do you ever think soccer is going to gain the popularity here that it has over the rest of the world?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
The NFL and the NBA have too much of a grasp.
I think there was some it was something that was like circulating the sports news that is it like what's the New York team? They're like the Red Bulls. They're
The Red
sponsored by
Bulls.
are they just the Red Bulls?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard they were trying to like get Messi.
Really?
Like bring Messi to the US, and I guess like that was kind of like whatever it cost, get Messi. Like that was like rumors that was what was happening.
That'd be insane. But that would definitely increase ticket sales.
I don't know if that'd be I don't think that'd be enough to make it as mainstream though, but I would like if Messi was playing in the US, I would definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'd want to see that in
But
person.
like with any sport, like one player on a team is not going to make a huge difference, like
Yeah.
if all the players, I mean, like he's getting old. I'm not comparing him to the numbers I'm about to use, or the U.S. players for that matter, because the U.S. players are still pretty good.
Yeah.
Like if like everybody on your team's a 4 and you're a 10, like you're not going to be a 10 team.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think that like having him, that would definitely add to the sport, add to the spectacle.
For sure.
Do you think if that happened, do you think the rest of the world would watch the MLS more?
I think the rest of the world already keeps an eye on the MLS.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think they pay more attention than we do?
I think it's possible that in some places they do pay more attention than we do.
Oh, that's sad. It's sad for us. It's not sad for the rest of the world. It's sad for us.
Yeah, we just don't love soccer that much because it's about good old football, baseball, basketball. Let's talk about baseball, man. We haven't reached on baseball, and we love.
Dude, there's been so many sports we didn't touch on, but yeah, like going to baseball, man.
MLB The Show is a great game. Shouts out to that.
I've heard some stuff about that game recently. That's not done by. That's an independent game, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it's an independent game. I'm gonna have to search that up. Let's see what developer makes this.
So part of the reason that I wanted to do this podcast was kind of to try some new things out, and I tried a baseball game this past week. I probably will not be playing it anymore, and it was totally not for me.
What game was it?
So here's the thing, and I think so. I don't love sports games, and I think the reason for that is I'd rather like if you were like, hey man, like let's play 2K, I'd rather be like, hey man, like let's go play a pickup game. I don't know, like me personally, I feel like more even though like I love video games,
yeah,
I just feel more connected like through sports when I do it in person, and
of course.
And like I know that that's not the way it is for everybody, but that's just the way it is. So this game's called Blazeball. It's called BLA. It's just baseball, but like Blaze, BLASE, and it's
Okay.
like on a browser. And I heard about this from some. Actually, I listened to two other video game podcasts. Pretty well. I listened to a couple, but like two of them like specifically like dropped this game. So I was like, all right, man, like I'll give it a try. I'll see what all the hype's about. And I've heard about it a couple other places as well. So basically, you have to like make an account, and once you do, you get to pick a team. And the team that I picked was the Yellowstone Magics, and it's kind of like a very like old school website, kind of like it's kind of like some new stuff to it. But so basically, like once you pick a team, you get taken to this page, and it kind of shows the home screen,
Yeah.
and under like it gives you there's like a toolbar, and there's like the store and like betting and voting, and like up at the top it has like a couple things, like it has like a ticker symbol where it's just like going across the top of the screen,
Yeah.
and it says like Blazeball, and then it's like another one's like we have infinite peanuts, and like it's like we're in the punishment phase, and I was like, what the heck is this? And like so like I looked down, and like this is like where the games take place, so like you don't actually interact with the games, but you get a hand in betting on the games, and the more bets that you win, it allows you to get votes, and your votes allow you to bet or to vote on the rules. So basically
Okay.
you are like watching a game being played by the computer, but you are like your aspect is taking like charge of the rules. So like you get to change the rules. So I would get on. I only did it a couple times, and like the reason that people like this is because if you've never like felt a sense of community around sports, you should check this out, because it's very different. Because like there's like aside from like nobody's actually playing it. Like so like when you like get on, it's like it shows like let's say the Magics are playing the Hawaii Fridays. That's another team, and so like they're like made up baseball names, and it's just like whatever player is batting, and then it's like strike one, one ball, and then it like goes pitch by pitch, and then it's like whatever player stole second, and like that's kind of like it like shows like in a text box what the game is, and then it like shows you like a play by play like
Right.
the ball strikes and what pitch it is and how many outs, and it shows you like where people are on the bases, and it shows you the score. And if you go to the next tab, so it shows you what the probability is of which team is going to win or not, and then you like bet on it. So I got a couple bets right. I haven't really been betting too much. I mean, like it's all fake money, so like it's like in-game currency, so it doesn't really affect you. So if you really need some sports in your life and really want to gamble fake money, and if you really need that itch, I recommend this.
Blazeball.
Baseball. But so I guess like one of the reasons that people really like is there's kind of like a quote unquote like fantasy element to it, which, you know, if you've never really gotten into sports, like you'll probably really like this. I kind of did it because like the sense of community is on a platform called Discourse, and I've never really joined a Discourse before. So that's kind of like why I was like, all right, I'm going to check this out. I'm going to check out the Discourse. Cause like, that's like kind of part of it. Cause like without the community, like these like games, like that are just the AIs, like they don't mean anything.
Right.
But like, if you're watching this and you're part of this community in the Discord, like they have like bios for all the characters, like all the characters that are on the team, like they all have like a backstory that the fans have created, and like it's on like a little page that you can see.
That's awesome.
So like I thought it was like I like was reading some like there's also like quote unquote like lore about your team. So like my team, for example, the Yellowstone Magics, there's like speculation that all of the fans are just creatures in Yellowstone National Park. And then they like also like This is the part here. I'm gonna pull it up really quick and kind of read you a little bit about it because it's definitely like a totally different concept. So do you have any thoughts on how any questions so far about kind of how I've been explaining this?
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Like Blazeball, it's Yellowstone Magics, Hawaii Fridays.
Yeah, I'll read all the names of the league. Here, let's see if I can. Okay, so this is kind of on their wiki, and this is like the community lore. I thought this part was pretty funny. So this is why people like this because they get to be a part of creating the lore and creating the whole mystic. The Magics, they pull their rookies from various teams in the underleagues, including the Great Smoky Mountain Druids, the Grand Canyon Sorcerers, and the Glacier Warlocks. I thought that was pretty funny, just the creativity. Those are some pretty good names. But this is the part that I really cracked up on. They generally do not accept players from the Yosemite Slams as it causes too many clerical errors.
Yosemite, Yellowstone, yeah. They're both national parks, both start with Y's.
And they're within a couple miles of each other. So I've been out to Yellowstone and we went to Yosemite. Actually, I'm thinking of a totally different one. I didn't even get the joke. Look at me, man. I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Grand Mere National Park.
Ooh.
So that here, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, Yosemite is it in Utah?
I think so. I want to say yes, but I'm not too sure.
It's in California.
My geography is really bad.
Yeah, mine is too, man. And of course, they're getting hit with a lot of wildfires right now, and that sucks. Oh man, the big rock in Yellowstone that that was it they did Free Solo about the movie Free Solo?
Yeah, fuck, I'm forgetting what it's called.
Yeah, I think it's called Free Solo, but the guy, his name's Alex. Do you know that?
Alex Honnold?
Yeah, that mountain, that peak. It's it's a really sad picture. It's just that peak, but everything around it, it's just a red sunset. It's just filled with smoke. So prayers up to our Yosemite friends. The world's kind of a little bit of a mess right now, but just gotta remember to stay as positive as you can.
I think the world's always in turmoil.
Yeah.
It's always going through stuff. We live in a system of entropy, but now we just have media covering it all the time, and it's constantly all over your face.
And unfortunately, they are not held responsible for their part in the world that we play in.
Yeah, they definitely play a role in shaping it. And most things in sports and and politics and art.
Yeah. It is unfortunate.
Science.
Yeah. That it really does stink, but you gotta something. I was actually talking to my grandpa. I'll share some wisdom that he shared with me the other day. I was talking to him about this, and he's like, "Yeah, we all kind of have our own situation that we're in, but it's up to you to not make excuses about it and to continue trying to improve yourself and trying to improve your situation because our world's so messed up that everybody's kind of got to. I mean, as much as we all like to help our fellow man, you kind of gotta look out for you, and you're responsible for making your own decisions and improving your own life.
Of course, I love that. It's motivational.
Yeah, I was talking to him on his birthday. He did his birthday a couple days ago. I was talking to him about it. He just kind of dropped that on me, and that made me feel a little bit better. So it's we're all as long as you're taking steps that are that you need, that's all you can do. And there's so many things, especially right now, that are just out of everybody's control. That you really just gotta take care of you to make sure that you're not part of the problem. You're part of the solution. If that's be the change that you want to see and all that.
Yeah, man. So it seems like this is a great episode. We got
Yeah.
we got a
There's a
lot
lot that we
covered.
didn't get to. There's so many sports games out there, and this is kind of just a celebration. Unfortunately, we probably are gonna have to cut it short here, but there's so many out there. And if you want to say something about it, we're gonna have an email eventually, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
put it in a little voiceover, so you can email us and like kind of say, what sports games are your favorite, or if we forgot any that
Yeah.
you like particularly love. Like, I know that the new Tony Hawk just came out.
Yep, I've heard some great things about that game. I'm looking forward to getting it, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually like one more thing before we head out. I'm thinking about buying a Switch. I pretty much made up my mind. And pretty much um, as soon as I can, I'm gonna snap one.
Which one? The new one that's coming out, or just the
Is there?
regular?
Well, I was gonna ask because I don't really follow Nintendo as much, and I know that you're a little bit more into it. Do you have like a Switch, or do you have a Switch Lite?
I have both. The Switch Lite is convenient. The only problem that I don't like about the Switch Lite is Nintendo in general on the analog sticks. They kind of they made a mistake on the manufacturing process, and over time they will kind of like naturally veer inwards and mess with the steering. And on the Switch Lite, there's no way to fix that unless you deface it and replace the analog sticks, as opposed to the Switch where you can
You can
just
just get new ones.
right,
Oh
right,
man. Well, I think I was probably gonna get the whole Switch version because I think it's a cool aspect to be able to hook it up to your TV if you wanted. And I think
definitely.
that that's cool. Like especially like they've got some titles that I'm particularly excited about after hearing more about them. Like I really want to try out, really want to check out Breath of the Wild, and really want to check
Great
out like.
one.
Have you played that?
Yes, love that game.
I that's like one of my number one on my list right now. So after I cop a Switch and play that, we'll have to do an episode about that.
Definitely Breath of the Wild episode. Animal Crossing, I would suggest, is a
So
great
I
one.
don't know if I don't know if Animal Crossing's for me. Like I've seen a lot of people play it, and I know that I know why a lot of people like it,
Yeah,
but I feel like for me, so like I actually like these past couple weeks, I've kind of had this thing where it's like I feel like just the world and everything's just been so like real and visceral that like I need
yeah,
to like just play something chill. And I think that's kind of like that's kind of why I want to switch. It's because there's a lot of like chiller games out there, like things that like aren't as like in your face, like it's not as gory or
right. It's a different vibe.
yeah. And I guess like more of a vibe for all ages kind of thing. Like if I'm
Yeah,
gonna play something, like I know it's not gonna stress me out. Like not that like I do get stressed out, but like sometimes like if you're playing like an intense game, like you might have to like
definitely.
I have to take breaks sometimes. I'm like, holy shit, like I just killed like a ton of people, in like really gruesome ways, especially if you're doing a game that has like assassinations or something in it. Like those are so
Yeah,
fun to do, but like sometimes I'm just like, holy shit, I just like slice this guy's gut open or something.
yeah. And that's AC3. Shouts out to Assassin's Creed and that whole series. Really, really good game there.
I actually, so it probably won't be on sale when we air this episode, but I just bought Assassin's Creed 3, so I'm gonna check that out because it was on sale. Like Ubisoft was having a sale. I was able
Yeah,
to get it for under $10. So, um,
that's a great snag. It's a great game. I know you're gonna love it.
and I think that even if this comes out and that sale still isn't going on, I think they're still on like 20, $30. They do have a new one that if you wanted to check out, I think it's a little bit more. I think it's like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but I think it has like a similar kind of packaging where it's like $100, and you can like get it for the next console too. You'd have to fact check that one, but definitely worth checking out if you're interested. So is there a new Switch coming out? Do you
Yeah,
know?
I've heard some rumors. Definitely fact check that.
I'll look it up right now. So what are your favorite Switch games, and what do you like about it in particular over other consoles?
I like the fact that I can put a micro a micro SD card, a 256 gigabyte micro SD card, download, just a ton of games. And yeah, I love that about it. I can, I have a
Are
lot of
these games
storage
from the Switch, or is this like from Steam?
from the Switch, from the Switch. Like I can just
They
fit a
have
lot
like a
of
store?
games in there. I don't have to buy physical copies. I can just buy them on the Nintendo store and download them and just play them on the go because I have my SD card. Um, that's what I love. But some games, Pokemon, Sword and Shield.
Yeah, that's another one that I'm really excited
I've
about.
always been a huge Pokemon fan
Same,
since
dude.
Pokemon Emerald, and
I was a
yeah,
Sapphire guy, but I played Emerald.
it's a great game. They're all great games. If you've never played Pokemon, I definitely recommend picking up a title. Uh, yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Mario Kart.
Oh, dude, I've heard a lot of things about Mario Kart. I hear that like having it on the Switch is like the best way to do it. You can just throw it in your backpack, and then
Yeah,
like if you're at a bar, you can just pull it out. I mean, like not to say that I would do this, but like just say like if you were like on campus, I know that like you kind of can't right now, but
yeah. I
if you
used
were
to do
gonna,
it. I used to bring my Switch to school sometimes. If I was in the library and I knew I'd be studying for a lot, I needed a break. I had my Switch, and it always came in clutch. Mario Party is a great game
oh, dude, it's so
to
fun.
play with friends. You can
Can
have.
you play online with that?
I'm not. I think so actually. Yeah, it's a fun game. Splatoon. It's basically paintball. It's a
Hmm.
first person shooter for kids, kind of, but it goes hard, man. It's a fun game. That's something Nintendo does well. They just know how to make games fun for everyone.
Yeah, and I sometimes I feel like obviously like we're gonna wrap this episode up here pretty soon, but kind of to bring it back to sports really quick. That's kind of one of the reasons why I don't really buy a lot of these sports titles. Because like I feel like they're just not timeless because they make a new one every year, and I feel like that can really like discourage someone, especially from spending a lot of money. Like especially like if you're in a position where you can't spend a lot of money on games,
Right.
like it can be discouraging, and it kind of stinks that like EA and like 2K, like they're really like kind of the only places that you can like really get that experience. So they kind of have like a monopoly on it in a little bit of a sense. Um,
Yeah.
and I, for somebody like me that like I definitely enjoy sports games, but like I'm not gonna buy a new one every year. That can be like
Yeah.
discouraging. It can be like a hard entry point too, because if you've never played one, like it can be intimidating with all the aspects that like 2K has, for example. Like you might not even know where to
Of
start.
course. Of course.
So it's definitely worth bringing up that I'm not super on board with all that, and I do like a little bit feel like they kind of take advantage of people a little bit because like I guess you can touch on this a little bit, but I've heard that in this new 2K they have ads inside the game. Have you seen any of those?
I haven't noticed any ads myself, but well, like I mean, they always do have like Gatorade and like Nike, and yeah, there's product placement all over the game, but that's
Yeah, that's not necessarily ads though. Like
yeah,
obviously like so like with the product placement, like obviously like 2K is gonna get some money for that. So and I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, making games is expensive, but if they make this the same or pretty much the same one every year, like, as far as the coding goes, like, it's not all that different. Like,
no,
you
yeah,
just mess with the
they
player
have the same
stats,
skeleton.
yeah, upgrade
Yeah,
the graphics and stuff like that. So, and like, I also feel like microtransactions is a good thing to bring up too. Like, it can sometimes feel a little bit predatory. So, if you don't have the funds, like, you don't have to purchase those. And I know that sometimes that can be discouraging if you're like, oh, I just spent $60 on this game, like, but that's a really cool skin or like a jersey, like that can be discouraging. Um, so just know that like they like those kind of practices, like they are out to make money off of you on that, and only
yeah,
really do those if you can financially support those games. And maybe before you buy it, like take a quick look at the corporation that owns it and say, am I on board with their message and how they treat like their employees and stuff like that before you spend on the microtransactions.
yeah, for sure.
I feel like we should end it on a good note though. I feel like I brought it down a little bit. Anything
Just
positive you want to say
just a
at the
little
end?
bit. Um, yeah. Just have fun. Take it easy.
Yeah, it's all about having fun. Definitely like hopping on with like your friends is why we're all in this and why we all love video games and why we love sports games in general. It's just to have that human connection and playing sports and doing physical activities is something that we all do. And if you're into an activity, others are going to be into that as well. So just kind of put yourself out there and try and make some friends while having a
Yeah.
good time, and that's really all you can do. So me and Brandon actually met doing we met through where we worked, but we hung out for the first time outside of work at a climbing gym. So
Yeah.
like making friendships through sports is a great way to meet people and great way to make friends. So
All right. Great way to bond.
yeah, definitely. Well, thanks
All
for
right.
coming out, listeners. Thanks for listening to us talk, and we'll talk to you soon, or you'll hear from us. You'll
You'll
definitely
hear
hear
from
from
us. We
us.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.